Hey everybody, over the next few days you're going to hear from several other coaches about why they became Beachbody coaches. And as for now, I'm going to share a little bit about why I became a Beachbody coach, and I'm really excited to share that with you. I was attracted to the possibility of creating freedom more than anything else. That was my big draw. I wasn't so much into the money, but I was able to connect the dots between being financially free with the residual income and creating the freedom of time so I could spend my time how I want. I know some people love their jobs, but me personally, I was never of that camp of loving my job. I always did my best at any job I've ever had because that's my work ethic, but I never really was living my dream by having a day job somewhere. That's just me. So I worked hard. I showed up every day on time, every job I've ever had. I got merit increases. I got along with generally everybody. And it landed me in the unemployment line more than once. Every job I've ever had that I brought the most superior work ethics to, they thanked me by sending me back to the unemployment line. And the last job I ever had, all of our jobs were sold to some company in India. So all of us were, just gone. And I was going to retire there eventually, but they had other plans. The thank you they gave me for working so hard every day, coming into work sick, and all these other things was the unemployment line. Eventually unemployment ran out. I never found work again. And so I was left with no income, no way to pay my bills or feed myself, and I was actually needy for my parents again, like I was when I was a kid, just to survive. It was a really bad place to be in, and what that did to me from a psychological point of view, I didn't feel very good about myself. I felt like a complete loser. And there was a lot of self-loathing actually for me about that, which I hid very well behind a smile that nobody ever questioned. I got really good at that, sadly. But then somewhere in the midst of all of this, about a year or so after my last job, like after the last day of the last job I ever had, my girlfriend that I was dating at the time, which happens to be Melanie, she was a Beachbody coach. I met her through MySpace. Remember MySpace? And she told me about this thing that she was doing with Beachbody. And I said no at first, and then I hesitated. It was a lot of hesitation on my part, so I empathize with hesitation. I was full of doubt about myself and if this was even real. So it was a few months later, she took me to this meeting with other Beachbody coaches, and I think that's what sold it for me. I mean, these people were real. I was expecting that I was going to be pitched to and, not direct pitches, but real underhanded ways of doing it. Because anytime I'd ever been to one of these things, that was always like that. It was the same thing every time. I went to this one because I was invited by my girlfriend, and also I was told there was a free dinner in it for me, which I was really excited about that. But the people that I met, they were all real. Nobody was perfect. Nobody was putting on some BS facade about how they got it all together. These are people that, with stories, and they didn't have it all together. They were honest. Nobody pitched me. Nobody did any underhanded thing, or none of that was happening. And it was like maybe 2 days after that event, I decided, I got to get into this thing. I'm not excited about going back to work. I was still looking for a job because I figured I didn't know what else to do. I had to have a way to pay my bills and support myself once again. But at the same time, I was always thinking in the back of my head, there's got to be another way, because I've never had a job show me an ounce of the loyalty that I've ever shown any job. My loyalty was up to here, and the loyalty returned back to me was down here. From that, that's not fair. It's not fair at all. So thankfully, after building this thing up, gosh, my health wasn't that great. 30 years old I was when I got into this. Running up a flight of steps was enough to take my breath away. That's not good at any age, especially only 30 years old. So I'm like, okay, an opportunity to fix my health and my wealth, get healthy physically and financially at the same time. And I'm meeting all these people that are already doing it, and they're not doing it by being weird, sleazy salespeople. And then my girlfriend at the time, she's doing it. She's getting these paychecks that are starting to come in. She got healthy. She lost a lot of weight and came off her asthma medications. It's like, this is really hitting everything. I got to do this. So after 3 months of hesitation and saying no and putting all this together, I said, sign me up. I got to do this. So in 90 days, I fixed my health. I did P90X. I went from being out of breath from climbing one flight of steps to climbing the Sears Tower, which is 103 flights of steps, and being out of breath. But I did it, and I did it in pretty good time too. That's pretty amazing. And a couple of years after that, or 2.5 years after that, I called off the job search. I never found work again, thankfully, and I became, a free person, which is what I had dreamed of. So that was an amazing thing. So in a nutshell, that's why I became a Beachbody coach. Another coach said to all of us, which I totally agree with, that's why I'm going to say this to you, but she said, you don't have a choice. You have to take care of your health. You have to. So it makes sense to me to build a business around it and build a team of other people that are going to build a business around health and fitness too, so that more people get healthy. I mean, we all want to help people, but we've got internal reasons why we want to do this too. So I love being able to do this and not have to be weird to do it, but to be myself and not some, not what everybody thinks of when they think of these type of things. I don't have to do that, and it was demonstrated to me just before I decided I was going to do this. So those are my reasons. As you listen to other reasons, find stuff that you can relate to, whether it's my story or somebody else's story, and just draw parallels to your own reasoning. You're here because there's something that you want. Maybe you're looking for a better way. I think there's a really good chance that you're going to find it here. So thanks for watching my video, and I'm looking forward to seeing this whole thing roll out the next few days and see who's going to be inspired to do what. It's pretty exciting. Bye for now.